Well, kia ora, and welcome to this lovely autumn day here in Dunedin. We're sending you out this short video before you actually start our course, just to highlight the process that you'll be going through before we start. Our process that our people call a mihi whakatau. And those two words in there, mihi is to acknowledge or to greet, and to whakatau is a process of pausing and making connection. So when we first meet on our first morning of our course, we'll go through the process of mihi whakatau, greeting each other and pausing and making connections. And the way that we'll make connections are through significant places. So those places that you feel comfortable in talking about, that'll form your identity. About those people and those social groups that form your identity, and who you are, so telling us a little bit something about yourself. Now, I'll be leading the process when we start, and I'll start with what's called a karakia. And for our people, a karakia is a group of words that make connection to a meta-narrative, and you'll be hearing a lot about this as we go through our conversations. It's not a prayer as such, but it forms the same sort of ethos, the same idea as a prayer, insofar as I'll be thanking the environments, the landscapes, and those people that come before us. I'll be thanking them and acknowledging their role, whether they be people or what we call atua, God figures if you would, deities, or naturally occurring phenomenon. I'll be thanking the environment around us for allowing us to be in place, and there'll be a story involved in that as well that we'll unpick later. I'll then be introducing myself using landscapes that are significant to my own identity, to groups, socio-political groups that are essential to my own identity, and then to myself. After I've finished this process, we'll actually go around the room and we'll allow each of our participants to appropriately introduce themselves to the group. It can be in the same format as I've used, in a karakia of sorts, a prayer of sorts, if that's appropriate for you. It may include landscapes, culturally significant landscapes and place that form your identity, if that's appropriate for you. It may involve socio-political groups of people that inform who you are, once again, if that's appropriate to you. So give it a little bit of thought over the next couple of days before we meet. Think about who it is that you are in relation to the places and the people that you're from, that you want to share with the larger group. Now, I've only got one small stipulation here, and it's going to be difficult for me to contain myself, but because, seeing as we have a large number of participants involved in this process, I have to ask that we try to keep those introductions of self down to about 2 minutes each. I know that's going to be difficult, but if we don't, we won't be breaking for morning tea or for a break afterwards. So please think about the significant places and people that you want to use, and stories that you want to use to introduce yourself. Bring those in our first meeting. Be prepared to tell those stories of who you are in order to make connection to other people, but please also be aware that we've got a large group and we'll be needing to keep to about 2 minutes. Unfortunately, once again, and it's always unfortunate in these situations that we're going to put a control mechanism in place, but what we'll do from our end is we'll invite you to introduce yourself due to geographic area that you're from. So we'll work our way around the Pacific Rim, around coast to coast to coast in Canada, and eventually we'll get as close to that top coast as we can. so that we can control the flow, so that everyone knows when to speak, and can we make sure we can get everyone on board on this. So once again, really excited about meeting you all. Not long to go now. On our first day, our very first morning, I'll open up with some words. We'll throw it open to, next will be Sarah, my co-facilitator, and then we'll control those introductions around the room. So until that time, my friends, mā te wā. Really looking forward to hearing from you all, to hearing about those places that you're from, and to seeing your faces online. So again, shame you're not going to be here. It'd be great to give you a hug, but we can give you a virtual one, eh? So take care, mā te wā. See you soon.